speak about combat stress, which is why we are here, is Commodore Andrew Cameron.
Dr. Ranger, members of the Executive Committee, High Commissioner, Ambassador, Mr. Speaker, honoured guests, ladies and gentlemen, I've been using my pen and striking through paragraphs as we went. As a simple sailor, I have to say I'm somewhat daunted following some very eloquent parliamentarians, leaders of industry, ambassadors, but I have to say, as a sailor, I have travelled the world, and I have to tell you that I'm immensely proud of what I see in the UK. We are very fortunate to have people on the top table who represent us so eloquently, and I have to say, as a boy from the West Midlands who grew up in a very multicultural environment, in a very multicultural school, most of my friends seem to be Punjabis. In 1919, Combat Stress was founded at the end of the First War. Remember, we're coming to the end of the longest period of warfare the United Kingdom has fought for over 200 years. The Society has always campaigned and delivered mental health care for veterans, and as demand has waxed and waned, unlike some charities that have continued to grow, we've grown when the demand was there and reduced in size when it wasn't. We are now growing very fast, and for your support tonight, I thank you very much, because there's a real need just now. In 2002, you will know that the names of a number of Indians, many Indians, and mostly Punjabis, were placed on a column outside Buckingham Palace. They recognised Victoria Crosses and military crosses awarded to the members of the Indian diaspora who fought for the UK. In 1945, February Day, there was a gazette which recorded a Victoria Cross to my uncle. On that same page, next door to his name, was a soldier of the Punjab Regiment and a sepoy of the Baluch Regiment. Both of them were awarded Victoria Crosses, sadly, like my uncle, posthumously. Today, there are many servicemen and women who very proudly claim heritage to the Indian diaspora, and they, like their white colleagues, are very much entitled to our care. It is certainly not a lack of courage or fighting spirit that causes people to seek the help of combat stress. More often it's a deep sense of guilt, confusion, hyper-awareness, nightmares, anger, and a loss of perspective, and I think we recognise that. It's often an act of responsibility to their families that veterans seek our specialist help to regain the equilibrium. Our vision is that veterans will live a life again free from the harmful effects of psychological wounds, so that they can again make a contribution to society. That means having a care too for their families, because the mental illness affects them too. Today we campaign for effective NHS mental health care, better support for reservists, and stigma reduction, as well as providing care for over 5,500 UK veterans. 400 plus of those are from Afghanistan, and over 800 from the recent wars in the Gulf. Our referral rates are going up at 12% a year, which is why we have to grow, and we have to make the NHS do what the NHS does well. 6% of our referrals come from GPs. The rest come from friends and our self-referrals. And so for GPs in the room, please remember, if you're stuck with a veteran with a mental health condition, we can probably help you. The average period of service is 10 years, and it takes about 13 years for veterans to find their way to us. So the fabric of their lives has pretty much fallen apart when they get to us. 60% of our funding is voluntary, and that means that we can be pretty tough with government to get the sort of things we need. If it were the other way around and we were a slave to government finance, that would be a bad thing, because we can't be lobbying if we're under the pay of the government. And so we try to heal wounded minds. We try to take people back into the light. Isn't that very appropriate for Diwali? Murali? Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your support.
Thank you, Commodore. May I invite the Punjabi Society of the British Isles Executive Committee to come forward to present a cheque to Commodore Andrew Cameron of the charity Combat Stress. Will the Executive Committee please come forward?